Hi guys, Lisa Dodo with some cooking show training. This video is about what goes in a host packet and how to coach your host for a successful show. And I'm going to tell you now, opinions vary, so if you have a method that works for you, absolutely stick with that. So in my host packet goes a show planner, which we sell those on the paperwork supply form. I think you can get 25 of them. They're double-sided for $2, and you can use your Pampered Chef dollars to pay for that or your own credit card. Also included in the host packet is one catalog, a package of 40 postcard invitations, an opportunity brochure, and if you don't have business cards, just make sure your personal information is on the show planner someplace. As far as the guest and host specials, I like to save those documents to my computer or my phone, and I email them or text them to each host, and I will ask, are you able to print? And if they are, I've just saved myself the work of making some copies. Of course, if they don't have a way to print them, you can supply that in the host packet as well. I also want to make sure that my host has their packet at least 2 weeks before the party, whenever possible, and so that I have time to properly host coach them and they have time to get their invitations out. I always impress upon them that the postcard invitations are going to make the most impact, because when somebody gets something handed to them or receives something in the mail with their name on it, it's much more of a personal touch and the person feels thought about. Sometimes when we invite through Facebook or mass texts, yes, that is an easy way to do it and it can be effective, but sometimes people, and this is usually I find to be generational, like people my age and older may appreciate a postcard with their name on it. Somebody much younger than me and maybe more tech savvy, would never do a postcard and they would be doing a text invite. Okay, so I impress upon each host that no matter what, no matter how they invite, no matter when they host their party, it doesn't matter what day of the week, it doesn't matter what time of the day, always remember that a host will get less than half of whoever they invite to actually show up to a cooking party. Now, I've done over 4,000 demonstrations in 21 and a half years. I think I can count on 3 fingers the amount of hosts that have broken this formula. So I think it's to be counted upon that, for sure, less than half of whoever a host will invite will actually show up. I ask them, just so I know how, who I'm working with and what they feel, I'll ask them, are you comfortable having 15 guests in your home for our party? And the way they answer me is going to be 3 ways. Yes, I'm comfortable having 15, or they're going to come up with 2 different objections. One may be, I don't know enough people, and 2, the other one may be, I don't think my house is large enough. And when you want to learn how to deal with objections, you can go on to Goal Getters into the Files section and download or print out a file I created called Host Coaching for Cooking Shows Made Easy. And those have the exact words to say when helping your host overcome objections. I also want to tell you that the postcard invitations are not a regular stamp to mail, they're a postcard stamp. So they are considerably less money than a regular postage stamp. And also, you want to encourage each and every host to keep track of every single person they are inviting, either by text, email, Facebook, postcard. If they have been invited to the party, their name should go on the show planner. And there's a few reasons for this. Number one, in the event of a last minute emergency, the host will want to have their list all in one place. And that last minute emergency going into winter now in the Northeast could be weather related. It could be, something happens on the host end and the party needs to be canceled or rescheduled due to, a family conflict or what have you. Another reason to have the list all in one place is so that the host can check up on the guests that don't answer. And I guarantee you, every host has to check up on the guests because not everybody RSVPs. Sometimes the invitation gets lost in the mail or people are just very busy and distracted and they forget to answer. So having the list all in one place will allow the host to move down the list and check on those who have not RSVP'd yes or no. Another touch point in the host coaching process is to tell your host that the first 5 people that reply to you are really the ones that are going to say no, they can't make it for whatever reason. And I tell each host, when you have at least 5 outside orders, it's going to dramatically change your show total, and that's going to enable you to pick even more items for free and half price. So that is definitely something they want to encourage. I am a consultant that believes that in almost every case, you should really try not to inundate the host by shipping all of the guest orders to that host. Of course, if you have that option, you can do what you like and you can discuss this with your host, but it really is only going to be a couple of dollars more for people to ship things to their own home. And when dealing with cooking shows, if somebody has a very successful $1,000 party and 5 big boxes show up, especially at this time of year when there's enough crazy chaos going on. We really don't want to inundate the host now with sorting all these orders and tracking her friends down again or his friends down again. So it's really important that you really encourage the host to have the guests direct ship their orders, because they're going to get their items faster. They're not going to be inconvenienced by having to go back to the host's home. And of course, the host will appreciate not having that extra labor and task to do after the show closes. I also want to make mention that every single host coaching attempt should include offering the opportunity to your host. And a lot of people, myself included, used to be very intimidated about this step. We were afraid to ask because we were afraid to hear the answer. So here's how this is going to go. After you talk about attendance and outside orders, you're going to say to your host, the last thing I want to ask, and this may be the furthest thing from your mind, but have you ever thought about becoming a Pampered Chef consultant? And you could pretty much brace yourself for a no or a negative reply. And I want you to be super professional and pleasant when you say, I just wanted to be sure I asked, because it's actually part of the host benefit package to start with an advantage by using up to a $50 kit credit of the free product value you're going to earn when we host your party. So I'm going to ask you at least 2 or 3 more times before we close. It's very common for a host to change their mind, but I would really like you to be sure by the end of your party whether or not you'd like to give this a go. And I would love to have you on my team, because what I've noticed about you is blank. And then pay them a compliment. It may be, you have more Pampered Chef products than I do. It may be, you seem so well liked and personable, and I think that you would be great at this. Or my all-time favorite is, from what I could see, my company would kill to have you as a consultant on our team. So with respect to the subject of host coaching, you must have a dialogue with every host when it comes to a cooking party, because hosts will not know that less than half of whoever they invite will show up. They will not seek out the invitations until you drive upon them the point where it's going to absolutely change your show total, so much so that it's going to entitle you to free products. And I'd say 99% of the time, most hosts don't realize that they can use up to $50 of their free product value to reduce the cost of any one of the 3 very affordable kits that we offer. So if we don't have these conversations, either over the phone or by text or private messenger, we're pretty much saying we don't care about the end result of the show, because now you have this information, so don't keep it to yourself. Share it with those that are opening up their homes with you, and I promise you, you're going to be so glad you did. Come back soon.